Hello, Internet Slams. I may have to lose my glasses. It's just what? It's got something in the. It's just a ramen? Ramen? What? Zane, you're here tonight. Can you hear me at all, boy? I have no idea if this muffles my voice or not. But yes, hello, hello, hello. D is hello, family. Hello, hello. So D is finishing up dinner because we did not have stuff. We are not having our traditional tacos today. Instead, we're having shrimp jambalaya today. D will be back, Zane. Sorry, man.
I'm just cooking.
He's just in the kitchen behind me, just cooking. Sorry, Zane. And yes, one of these days on a Saturday, we'll do an F-It and I'll have Phoenix come out. Yes, well, I know you do, Zane. You also watch women in other things. Well, hello there, Internet and our crafting family. Today is Tuesday, the 17th. So for all of us who celebrate, happy St. Patty's Day. Hello, hello. I believe Bam is, I'm not entirely sure if I'm talking to Mythos or Freak. I know beautiful people. Hi, Kaiju. Speaking Kaiju, I saw some of your stuff up on Instagram recently. Amazing paint job you did. I mean, holy jeez.
What people don't know is Saint Paddy was the first orc.
It's a Mythos. Hello, Mythos. There, I have green. Happiness. Yes. I am not sure how long I will be around today because unfortunately I did something very bad to my back. Otherwise, I would have been at work tonight. But hi, Dave. Wow, we're getting lots of people in today.
It's because I'm not here.
You're in the preview.
Yeah, you were attacking me in the preview.
No. See, here he is, guys. I told you, he's not dead.
I'm dead.
He hasn't caught the virus.
I'm dead.
We're good. And no, I haven't caught it. I just had a allergic reaction to some anti-aging cream.
She was using beauty products and it caused her face to melt off.
It's not half untrue. Ooh, working out, man. I miss working out. My back doesn't, but I do. That's all my stuff. What are you looking at?
I'm just looking for my dirt down there.
Oh, child! How's it howling? Somebody's work is pretty much trying to Umbrella Corp. Yeah, you know that's what I should have worn today. I should have worn my my Umbrella Corp shirt. I actually have a Umbrella Corp jacket. I missed the time when this was just a woman's stream at the beginning. And the Commodore is... Oh, is it? That's cool. Well, yay, freedom to Phoenix. Phoenix is finally getting free from hell. No, not Walmart, but something close enough. Starts with a W, too. So, yes. I guess I'll start with what's on the bench, you know, since that's what we do. And we did start a couple minutes early today because big guy's making jambalaya. Yummy, yummy. I am currently working my way through because I finally figured out what I'm going to do for Armies on Parade, so that's going to be fun. I am almost done with my entrance into the Chilling Wargamers 3+1 thing. So I'm pretty excited about that. And hubby bought me a present. Where is my present? Where did he go?
I put him away.
Okay. You know, that's a funny. So hubby bought me a present. And I will be recording when I finally put him together, because he is needed for my Armies on Parade. But I have a couple of others to do first. So yes, it's going to be fun. Big guy also got.
No. Don't talk about mine on the bench. We talk about you on the bench. I talk about me on the bench.
You're supposed to be cooking.
They're simmering right now. You finish talking about you.
I should stream it. Zane, the amount of not done, actually. I still haven't finished him because I made a promise to Mike Hawkins and to Joe Bookish that I would finish him on a camera. So he's not quite done yet. And for those of you who would like to see a small sneak peek, because I don't mind showing off a sneak peek, what I said to you, Zane, was it took me over 3 hours just to partially paint something. I could only imagine how long me trying to sit down and do the Craven King from beginning to end would take. And then the other thing I have is, this is my, it's kind of hard to get a good view of him.
It's Chaos Marine.
For the 3+ 5-hour stream. I guess if I had probably got Phoenix to come over and do it with me, it probably would be a lot more tolerable. I don't know, but we got to wait until after all this crap goes away first.
Yeah.
Since I regrettably will not be able to go visit my family in 2 weeks because they, yep, the gauntlet. I don't know, Kaiju, did you see my video? It was awful. My God. Terrible. No, Zane, he's not really that good, man. But thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But yeah, he's got a couple more little things here and there that I've got to add to him to. Yeah, let's not use that phrase around him because I don't feel well enough to try and beat him to make him stop.
Hashtag completed. I don't need to drop any more brushes. Damn.
Hold on, I need something to censor me. Where are we sticking the gauntlet? Where the sun doesn't shine. Thank you. I wanted to do more because I actually have a smoke machine and everything, so I would have done more if I could, but I thought that was good enough. So the only other thing I've got really going on for me, other than I'm actually made some pretty good headway into I'm ignoring Zane now for the time being. I am making good headway on Hellchild's commission that he asked of me of his custom Marine chapter. And I have started the mapping and planning for my Armies on Parade display board, which, if my husband is helpful, as he's going to be helping me put stuff together, we will be probably filming me making the terrain because I'm going to be doing a lot of scatter terrain pieces for it. But that's about it for me.
On the bench. Well, I just completed, if you've been following on my Instagram, if you could hold this up for the camera, love. I just recently finished my shock jump dragster. I have a video tutorial coming out with for it on the build process that I filmed of that, because it is kind of a tricky model. I use that color shifting paint, and it's great to see in this medium light how the purple and the blue really highlight. And I love the color of this thing. So that being said, with Saga of the Beast and the...
we weren't going to talk about that yet.
No, I'm talking with Saga of the Beast and the Prophecy of the Wolf coming out, I've been really focusing on my orcs. Now, I built these guys a while ago, but I'll be painting them up next. They're next in line, and I'll be doing their bases in the manner of which I've been doing all these urban bases lately.
The Mad Max thing.
Yeah.
As Kaiju says, he loves your bases. They are very Mad Max-like.
I actually just finished throwing the primer on the bike bases. So those are...
it smells.
Yeah, I literally
That's the other reason I'm wearing this thing.
I literally just primed them like about 20 minutes ago. So so they're coming along. I'll be doing a tutorial on how I do the bases when I do the bases for them. When
we picked up this glorious bastard. While he's doing this, I'm going to go ahead and answer your question, Kaiju. Actually, the idea is that the Night Haunt have crashed the end of a battle between what's left of some Stormcast and Cornates. So you can't see my big cheesy grin under this.
I got this out of print box, which I'm very pleased by. The terrain that's in this box, turn around, will be used for this year's Armies on Parade.
Which I don't honestly know what he's making yet, guys. So.
But the figures will not be built or painted this year because they are specifically being set aside for next year. Because next year's Army, new year, new Army, I'll be starting my Tyranids.
Yes,
Maybe.
As a matter of fact, Zane, it's actually what was left over because we had a couple of individual packs and whatnot and things that he didn't need. So, yeah, I got them. I inherited them.
I don't know what.
More accurately, I commandeered the crap out of them because he didn't need them. What was left of the Stormcast that you didn't need?
The ones that you primed. Those are yours.
Can't see the grin.
So we got that. Yeah, orcs. Trying to get as many orcs out of the way. Plus, the video for this will be going up tomorrow because my 3-color plus black wolf is done. Did the filming all yesterday, and he'll be going up.
Ooh, that I can't wait to see, Zane. Zane says that he is going to be starting a Gene Stiller cult. I would love to see Zane painting those.
That's pretty cool.
Zane, I know you don't think you're a good painter. Reminds me of a Dalek with walking on 2 legs, which is even more horrifying. Yes. It was very cool. Zane, you are very talented, and you're where I got the idea for my some of the blood splatters that I do for my Cornates, actually. Dave says that he chose gray, green, and red for his 3+ black.
Oh. Yeah, I did. I can tell you now, I used Vallejo white, Vallejo black.
He used what was left of it, and I had to settle for something better.
Vallejo white, Vallejo black, Fenrisian gray, and Mephiston red. So,
thank you, Hellchild.
Worked out great for mine.
Compliment Zane's paint job. He thinks he doesn't have any paint.
Zane, you suck, but at least you paint well. I'm not wrong. I said he paints well.
Yeah, but he doesn't suck.
Have you seen him?
Nobody has.
Exactly. He sucks.
We have some Army Painter, Zane. Not Zane. Ugh. Sorry, I'm also on Pain Pill.
We don't have an Army Painter.
I thought we did.
Nope. I don't have a single. I don't have a
We
single.
got rid of it.
I don't have a single bottle of Army Painter. I have some of the master paint system from Citadel.
That's Citadel? I thought that was Reaper.
And then, sorry, you're right. It's from Reaper.
Some of them are nice.
They're very watery, though. Their primer, their brush-on primer is really good. But everything else is kind of watery.
I think they work very well when I want to glaze.
Exactly. They're watery, so they make really great glazes. They're very transparent. I don't have a lot of their colors, but they're very translucent.
Whereas my colors in question were...
Oh.
Can you hand me the...
Yeah, whatever. Ow. I'm also not moving very fast because I busted the crap out of my hip.
So I used Citadel for me. Citadel's Screaming Bell and White Star White. Yay! And then I used my first bottle of P3. Don't thin Reaper. Oh, you don't thin Reaper, probably because you don't need to.
You don't need a thin Reaper. That's the thing. You don't need to. It starts off almost glaze-like. And like I said, this one, I really like the tone, but it's like I use this for my squigs.
Yeah, it's not getting picked up anytime soon.
I used it for my squigs, and I like the color, but it's almost closer to a glaze. So
let's see. Mito says he loves Army Painter's washes, but he dislikes their paints. I find consistency hard to work with. Whereas Zane says that he learned that the Army shader from Army Painter is basically Agrax.
Here's the thing. I've heard really good things about Army Painter's shades. I've heard really good things about them. The problem is that I was introduced by Nick at IDIC Beer to Green Stuff World's ink shades.
Oh my gosh.
And they are so good.
We have to use them sparingly. Otherwise,
well, the thing is, you don't have to use much because they're so good. Mm-hmm. They're not an acrylic shade. They are a ink in almost a glaze-like medium. They are just gorgeous. Such beautiful tones out of them. Their black is amazing. Their earth tone is really good. Their greens are... I use their blue when I'm doing lighting effects. Mythos might remember this. I was showing off that marine I did with the Space Wolf with the power hammer, and all I did was I coated the silver, did it in like 3 shades, going lighter, silver, and then washed it in their blue ink shade, and the whole thing just looks like it's drenched in lightning. So it's their blue is just a beautiful color. They're amazing. I can't say enough good things about Green Stuff World's shades. It's one of the reasons I kind of like them. I like the company in a whole. They've got 3 products of theirs that I use, and I use them like a lot. So
Hellchild says he doesn't thin Army Painter either, probably because he doesn't have to.
Army Painter, I have not heard good things about their paints, unfortunately.
It's funny listening to Goobertown talk about them.
Yeah. Hello, Tina.
Let's see. Kaiju says, "Don't thin the Reaper." Wasn't that a Blue Oyster Cult song?
Lol.
Oh. And Zane managed to find himself in timeout already. We haven't even been on this for 20 minutes, and he's already in timeout.
You're going to talk some more? I'm going to go stir my jambalaya. Mm-hmm. Oh, God, my head.
Phoenix says that she's putting her entire family into bubbles for their protection. And Dave is not a fan of Games Workshop pots.
Dave's not a fan of what?
The GW pots.
No.
None of us are. So, yes. I'm like, trying to focus here. As I said earlier, I did hurt my back actually pretty badly. I've had to call off work the 2 days in a row. And it sucks. And then, so I have got lots of painkiller in me, so I'm a little loopy. And I'm hungry. And he decided to start dinner at 15 after 7.
Sorry, I got distracted by a movie. I was tooling around doing my regular rounds of news before I do my stream, and YouTube popped up a what you might find interesting, and
Zane 2 just got punted.
And I got to watch the full-length, unedited, uncut Hackers from 1995. One of my favorite movies. I haven't seen it in at least 5 years because I can't find my copy of it. So it's a short movie. It's like an hour and a half long. I finished it.
You know, I can tell you where Hackers is.
Well, I didn't know where it was. I watched it.
Well, you didn't ask.
I don't care. I watched it.
To answer the question of what's wrong with my back, no, I wasn't dropping it like it was hot. He wants to see me do that.
Oh, I do.
Hack the planet.
Hack the planet.
Okay. But no, actually, I was at work and modeling for advantage. Yay! No, I wasn't twerking either, Zane. Sorry. But no, actually, I was at work, and there are a couple of clients that like to come in and have their stuff framed. Well, what they have framed are large maps of Disneyland from around the world. So I've seen Paris, I've seen Hong Kong, I've seen Japan. I've just Anyway, so these are big ass maps, and then they like to add a 4-inch mat onto that. And then the frame they get is just, they're gorgeous, but it's another 4-inch frame that's made out of actual wood, not particle.
And she's got a bad back to begin with.
So, yeah.
The original Blade Runner is... We're going to start on this conversation. No. He just said he likes the original Blade Runner. Here's the thing. We're going to start on this conversation and immediately end it, because Blade Runner, the original, director's cut, is simply put the finest American film ever made. Period. Not the best film ever made, not the greatest film ever made, but is the finest crafted film, American film, ever made. It's perfect. Every scene is a portrait. Every shot is purposeful. It is a piece of art. It is my #1 favorite movie of all time.
I bought it for our anniversary a few years back.
All right. So that's on the bench.
All right, Zane. Seriously?
Okay.
You need to calm down.
He said he's chill. Just chill.
He missed his...
I saw. He's chilling.
Oh my God, what happened to D? He looks 20 years younger. He decided...
I shaved my head and got rid of all my wild gray hair. And shaved off the wild crazy beard.
Which he does roughly every 6 months, even though every 6 months he goes, hey, I'm going to try and grow a beard. I'm going to let my hair grow out. Honey, it's not going to last long. No, it's going to be different this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time. Fall sets in, I'm going to get a beard. I'm going to grow an epic mountain man beard. I'm going to get this great big beard.
Spring comes.
Get it off! Get it off! Get it off! Oh.
I make look 19 again. Yeah, right. This salt and pepper. Oh, I'm just glad that I don't look.
I'm not going to do it.
As old anymore.
I'm not going to do it.
What? I didn't cut it all off, though. I pull it back in a ponytail. I like the long hair. when I'm out clubbing and trying to pretend I'm a hip dude, I brush all over to one side and act like I'm, you know, almost.
And then I just did this again.
She got a mohawk.
Yep, because I likes it.
Yeah, here's the problem, Commodore. You can teach me the ways of the beard. I've had the beard. The problem is
he gets annoyed with it after about 5. Actually, it starts at about the 4-month mark.
Yeah.
At the 5-month mark, he starts doing this, shaving all up under here and all up here. And he's like, I'm going to be fine. I got this. 6 months. He's like, get the stamp thing off.
Yeah, I can't. I don't like it. I like it, but I don't like it.
It works just like the seasons for me. I know exactly when it's fall, and I know exactly when spring has got here.
Yeah. So I keep this up until about September, and then September I stop shaving until about March, and then March it all goes the hell away.
This is a true story.
And the funny thing is, I didn't go as bad as I did last year when I did this.
Oh my God, when you looked like the grizzled mountain man.
Well, I let it grow really out last year, and then that spring, I shaved clean and shaved my whole head this length. I didn't leave the top long. I went like super clean.
And he looked like he was 5 years old.
So that's on the bench. Before we get to the news of the week, I'm gonna go stir my jambalaya, and she's gonna talk about your full plan for what you're doing for Armies on Parade. Because even though it's not until October, she's already working on it.
I can't lick my brushes.
No, you can't.
I'm sitting here getting ready, and I'm like, I can't lick the brushes. Okay, so so my full actually I can show you guys kind of my little printout. Give me a second. I'm slow moving, so do apologize. Actually, let me just switch over here. I got it.
You got things on top of it.
Yeah, I know. All right, so yeah, I know there's a tongue on the mask. It just doesn't work. All right. How to curb addiction 101. Nah, it doesn't work with me, mate. All right, so here you go. So this is kind of an idea of what I'm going to do. Oh, I should probably turn it right side up. All right, so my idea is that, like I said, I want to do the cornates versus the good grief. This conversation is getting rowdy fast. So what I want to do is I want to do a platform in the middle that is going to have like a altar dais, and it's going to have runes carved into it. So that's what the circle is supposed to be. Because Dee did this a few years ago, and it's actually a really cool thing where he made a dwarven rune forge using a flickering multi-light tea light, and he put it up underneath, so when you turned it on, all the runes started glowing. Well, so I want to do something like that with the dais here, and I'm going to put my Stormcast kind of standing in the the hero circle. They're all going to be here, but they're going to be standing back to back because they were fighting the cornates, who are all going to be right here. And at this point now, the Craven King will be here. Lady Olinda is going to be down here, and then the rest of it is going to be just covered with the hordes of Night Haunt, because they decided to crash. And at that point, the followers of Sigmar and the followers of Khorne go, you know what? I choose life. We'll stop killing each other until they're gone. So that's the whole idea. And almost all of this is going to be done with scatter terrain pieces that I can put down, because I want to be able to eventually make 5 more boards that will match this. And this side's going to be lava, whereas this is all going to be like tile work. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do. And so that is that idea there. It's going to be lots of fun for me. slightly wondering if I'm going to try and use the paper water effect that I saw, because I know that you can make lava using a similar effect that you would with water to do the lava. That way I can get that rippling. Naked dudes? No, I'm not doing custodies. Again, yeah. But yes, so and because I've got quite a few of the big, I've got a lot of the name people, well, the major name people for the Night Haunt, and I've actually got the other half. Some of them are partially naked. The Blood Reavers are. Yes, this is a true statement. The Blood Reavers are mostly naked. Yeah. I don't have enough corn, unfortunately, to be able to do. Can't say I've ever painted a naked dude on a canvas. And anywhere not! Yay! Lady Bitch. Thank you. No, I do not have the coronavirus, by the way, for anybody who is wondering. That is not why I have this on my face. For all of you latecomers, I tried to do the dumb, woman thing, and was using some beauty creams that apparently I did not react well to. So my face is pretty broken out. That's why I've also got my hair partially down, and I'm wearing this to cover up the markings I got. Lucky me.
All right.
And I have never painted on a naked man, but they'll just sound fun. Ooh, Dropkick Murphys have a live concert?
Yep.
Nice.
I love the drop kicks. They're awesome.
So on that note, so that I can eat without horrifying anybody, I'm going to scoot. Because yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, damn it, and I can't even steal a drink.
Nope. It's all mine. Nom nom nom.
Okay, hold on. Movement is not on my list of approved activities tonight.
All right.
Oh God.
Big D in the house. I appreciate everyone in this kind of a different live cast tonight. My homemade jambalaya.
You got it out of a box and added a shrimp to it and veggies.
You think that?
I know that.
You don't know what all I added.
Knowing you, you probably added paprika and adobo.
All right. So, happy St. Paddy's Day. We talked about what's on the bench now. Let's talk about what's going on in the world of Warhammer.
Well,
I am very whelmed. Very, very whelmed. Not underwhelmed, not overwhelmed, just kind of whelmed. So, the book, Saga the Beast, I am super excited for. I'm actually very excited for. The rules look really good. The previews look really good. It all looks amazing. I want to see somebody drop an all grot army now that it's viable, or at least there's rules for it. I like the fact that there's new cultures. I like the fact there's new subcultures.
I thought there was an entire grot only army in the Rebels.
No. This is really cool. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the wolves getting their doctrines, getting apparently their litanies or their equivalent of a litany, and getting a whole bunch of new stratagems. Apparently, we're going to find out tomorrow officially, but apparently the wolves are getting a boatload of new stratagems, which they needed desperately.
About damn time.
Because their stratagems were, again, underwhelming. So we're going to bring the wolves up to speed with everyone else, and I'll be happy about that. I love the new Ragnar miniature. I love the new Gazgul Thraka miniature. I actually love the Makari figure. I love the rules for the 3 figures. I think it's awesome.
He does not love the box.
I'm kind of about the box. Me and Mythos got into a kind of a lengthy debate / conversation because I'm fully in. I'm 100% in on Primaris Wolves. And I know a lot of people aren't. I get it. I get why. But here's the thing. Primaris are here. They're here to stay. We're not getting rid of them. The only reason they don't look the part is because you don't dress them up. If you can get the bits, you can make wolves look amazing in Primaris. My own army is an example of that. You guys have seen my showcase. People have talked about how great my figures look. My Primaris figures, you put a lot of bits, you put a lot of effort. And one of the biggest problems, and yeah, I agree with you there. And I think, like I said, Shooty Wolves is more like they were in 2nd and 3rd edition. They were more shooty. They started shooty, then they became melee gods, and now the entire game has shifted back. Because that's the thing, you got to remember, when the game first started out, shooting was king. Then, as editions went forward, the wolves became so powerful because melee was god. And now it's swung the other way. And now melee is almost, in a lot of cases, pretty bad. There are some differences. I have 2 problems, and this is the one that me and Mathos agree on. There needs to be a Primaris wolf melee heavy figure, a wolf specific. Again, I don't agree with you that, Mathos. Like I said, Mathos and I agree on the whole. I think in principle we all agree on the same point, that wolves need to be melee. They're not known for their shooting, but Marines by nature are shooty. The wolves are consummate warriors. Warriors mean shooting, but they need to be more melee specific. And the problem is that if you look at the Marines, the basic Primaris Marines, your basic Primaris intercessors are as melee heavy as non-Primaris wolves. They're far more melee better than your standard tactical Marines. They're on a par with the wolves, but they're better figures, but they're not. I mean, there's arguments every way, and I get that. I think if the Primaris represented an all-over upgrade to the Marines, I think Primaris wolves should be even more melee. They should be the wolves should get a melee heavy Primaris, unique to the Primaris. I mean, unique to the wolves. That's what they've been all along. They should still get that, in my opinion. But that is entirely my opinion. Now, I'm hoping that when we start seeing the wolf rules, that we will see more good stuff that will make melee better for the wolves. The ability to, like, a blazing a blazing charge where wolves can charge and be a minus to hit, or have a bonus to armor or something that gives them a benefit when they're charging, so that they're better at charging, don't take as many hits, and can get in the melee quicker. There's got to be something they can do. Stratagem, a litany, a doctrine, something. Something's got to make them better in melee, because that's what the wolves are. There were all these rumors out there that were 90% right. Ragnar ended up being 100% right. Gazkul ended up being 100% right. The Makari figure was 100% right. The what's in the box was 100% wrong with the initial reports. We learned later, with later reports, but even the later reports were wrong in that these infiltrators are going to be wolf specific with backpack mounted grenade launchers and more melee options, like a double knife option, like the Phobos Lieutenant is. We didn't get that either. This is why I'm whelmed by the box, because I like the units in there. They're not bad units. The price point is more in line. It's the same price as Shadow Spear, so I'm still back on board, but I don't need another unit of infiltrators. I really don't need another unit of knobs, but I'll take them because I'll use them. The mecha knobs, my army list didn't have them in there. I'm not going to complain though, because orcs is orcs is orcs, and I'll just use more orcs. So it's all good. Hello, long German name, dear Kreischen Teufels Bringer. I'm gonna call you Bringer. Sorry. So my other point is that if they were going to put a unit in the box with the wolves, they literally put the shootiest of troop options. Because, and this is something I have to concede in point to Mythos, because I was looking at them further. They're not bad melee, but they're literally, of all the Primaris, of the 3 Primaris troops options, they're literally the shootiest. Swig Boss Mad Knobs, how you doing, buddy? They're the shootiest of all the options, which really doesn't make sense. They're like, could you have picked a worse unit to put in with Ragnar? If you're going to put a Primaris unit in there, they should have put in, if they weren't going to put a new unit in, if they weren't going to create a new unit, they should have put in aggressors. They should have put in reavers. They should have put in something melee focused. Yes, they all have shooting. All the Primaris have guns coming out of their ears. But give them something that can do something in melee too, something extra. And they didn't. And I think that. The other thing is the balance in the box. Now, this is the other thing I have an issue with. You've got Gazkul and Makari. You've got Ragnar. So you got your 2 bosses. And then you've got 2 elites for Gazkul. And then you've got 1 squad of troops for Ragnar. I don't know why they're pushing infiltrators so hard. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe in the book that comes with the box, there's some narrative reason. But I don't like it. I want, maybe they're going to give them a stratagem or a specific new tactic or a new something, a specialty detachment, something to do. Yeah, and that's the thing. They're picking a unit that, okay, now I've talked to Marines are like the biggest faction that's played in the local meta that I play in. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds, but Marines are heavy. And I don't know anybody, save me, that uses infiltrators. Not a lot of people use the Vanguard stuff. Now, maybe they're used in competition, maybe they're used by, but I don't know of anybody that's using, that I personally know, that's really using a lot of the Vanguard stuff. Commodore is now getting into it. He is working on it for his Imperial Fists. But that's a more recent happening. I wouldn't have wanted to get another group of intercessors because I've got more than enough intercessors for my wolves. But the intercessors are literally the best melee unit. It's aggravating. And as a longtime wolf player and a longtime wolf fan, it's super aggravating. I mean, and that's the thing. Mythos and I are both we're both kind of about the whole thing. Honestly, if they were charging for this box, what they're charging for what they charged for the Blood of the Phoenix box, I wouldn't be getting it. I still am on the fence. I'm still on the fence about it. I want those two figures, but they're the only two figures in the box I really want. Everything else in the box is kind of eh. They had an opportunity to put some new figures in there. They had an opportunity to put something new, something different, and they really didn't. And I feel like they kind of let me down a little bit. Yeah, and here's the problem, Mad Knobs, I'm both an Orcs and a Space Wolf player. And I'm a newer Orc player. I have a box of knobs. I mean, yeah, a second squad of knobs, okay, I can see using it. I don't know about the mega knobs. I haven't, when I've been looking at my army lists and building my army lists with what I'm building, because I've got a very specific mind to what I'm trying to build. Yeah, and that's the biggest problem is that, well, I think they kind of did, because I will be honest with you, you can still get Blood of the Phoenix. That's not sold out. They still have stock of that left. That did not sell well. So I think they got a notice, but I don't think they got enough of a notice. The other thing that's very notable is that it's not very balanced. And it's not a lot of figures. I mean, it's a $170 USD box. And it's not a lot of figures. So again, it's a little disappointing. I mean, for 170 bucks, I got Shadow Spear, which was 100% all new figures. This isn't. They've had a year since Shadow Spear to do something. They've had 4 years since 8th edition came out to fix the wolves and give them a melee Primaris. They still haven't done that. There's a reason why Wolfen are still an almost automatic take for everybody, because there's nothing better for the wolves in melee. Have they confirmed 170? No, but I have sources. It's 170 for the box. They're repackaging the Fenrisian Wolf, just the Wolf kit. They're repackaging it, which will be re-released at the same time, and that's going to be a repackage at $35 for a pack of those. The new book's going to be $40, like every other book. And there's a new collection novel coming out the same week that's like the Tales of the Wolf. I mean, the Orcs are getting more out of this than anybody, and they're not getting jack shit for fiction. The Wolves are getting a ton of stuff. But it's 105 pounds, Commodore. Pounds, 1 pound does not equal $1. And keep in mind, it's a GW product. There's an import tax when it comes to the US. So yeah, it's the same price as Shadow Spear. I've got a confirmed invoice. Like, I've got an actual invoice from a shipping company with the price of them on there. So it's the same price. Now, that being said, it's still a deal. I mean, it's still a deal. It's almost $280 worth of figures, guessing on the price of Ragnar. Ragnar's been every single name character they've done so far for the Primaris have been $40 figures. So Ragnar's going to be 40. Gazkul's going to be. A lot of people are figuring when they release him solo, he's going to be the same price as Gulaman or Abaddon, which is I think a $60 or $65 figure. So that's where they're getting the price for it's somewhere between in value USD somewhere between 270 to 280. So it's about the price break you get with a Christmas box if it goes for 170. But like I said, I've seen the invoice. The invoice says it's 170. It's still disappointing. Why are we getting infiltrators? I mean, I would have rather if they didn't give us the infiltrators, give us some Wolfen. Jeez, give us anything melee. I mean, I'm just sick of it not being melee. Why aren't the Primaris? Why don't they have melee? I mean, why is it only the Intercessor Sergeant is the only guy that can pick up a melee weapon? I mean, I can't even put a Thunderhammer and shield in the hands of a Primaris Wolf Lord. Why? Why can't I take a regular Wolf Lord and give him a Thunder Shield and a hammer? I can take a regular Wolf Lord and give him a Thunder Shield and a hammer. But a Primaris one, oh no, I don't know how to use that. No, can't do that at all. What? Come on! Let's be real here. I can give him I can give a Primaris Wolf Lord a Thunder Fist, but if I give him a Thunder Fist, he gets a plasma pistol. Really? I can give him a power sword and a bolt rifle. A master crafted bolt rifle. Not a fan. And I've had time to think about it because I am a Primaris player. I like the Primaris Marines. I like what they bring to the table. But again, I understand and I get why there's this. We're getting ignored as wolves. So that being said, let's see what our doctrines do. Let's see if they put a change in there. Maybe there'll be a change. Maybe we'll get a change in our doctrine. Maybe we'll get a doctrine that will do something for us in melee. Maybe we'll get a stratagem that does something for us in melee. Maybe we'll get a litany that helps us out. Although it probably won't be called a litany. It'll probably be called like a Skald song or something because, you know, we're wolves. F the police. All right. That's enough about the wolves. I think we've covered them enough. I don't need to get more salty. So let's talk about the orcs because the orcs look great. They gave them their they talked about their stuff today, and the fact that they've got new cultures that are subcultures, which I want to know. I want to really see the book. I want to see the book. I want to see this book badly because I want to see if the cultures work with the subcultures, or do you only get the subculture bonus? Because there is a subculture that speaks to me at a spiritual level. It basically lets you to re-roll all attacks in your army from anything that uses burnas, combi burnas, anything that involves a D6 for number of automatic attacks. Any type thing, it's a flamer attack. Everything you can re-roll. You get to re-roll all of them, even their burner grenades and everything else. You get to re-roll them. I love that idea. I wanted to build a lot of orc. I want to literally build one of my units that I have in my mind is I'm building a truck that I'm going to fill with burner boys. I'm going to have a 20-man mob of burner boys just run up and roast everything. That is like one of the key points of this army I'm building. Because I just want to set the world on fire. That's just what I want to do. I want the orcs to set the world on fire. Is what it is. I also got a line on some very old orc figures that I think will be cool with this. I'll get to that in a second. Let's go back to the stratagem because there's another stratagem I want to talk about because it looks so hilarious. There is a new stratagem that they've released in the book called the Flying Ed Butt. Basically, you get to take a vehicle that flies and you can forcibly, at the end of movement phase, make it crash and make it explode. And, you know, if I've got a burner jet or a DACA jet or a burn Obama and it's got 1 or 2 wounds left and it's about to go, and I can make its max movement, put it right in between like 3 or 4 other units, and just blow it up and do a D3 mortal wounds to every unit within 6 or 8 inches, whatever it is. I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea of the orcs just going Zogget, kill the space marines. You know, I like that idea. I think it's hilarious. Part of me is like, this is such a situational, but it's only one point. And so I want to go look up Death Copters because if Death Copters explode, this makes me want to put Death Copters in my army just so I can throw Death Copters at people and make them explode. Because they're going to get shot all the hell anyhow. So throw them in there, blow them up, kill people. Throw them in there, shoot all the heck, and get blown up and kill people. I think it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I mean, it just sounds hilarious. It is the orkiest thing ever. And the fact that there's all kinds of new bizarre rules that they're talking about. There's a new culture that makes an all grot army. Literally, you can take all grots and they get a culture bonus. Now, those of you guys who play orcs, and if you don't play orcs, you might not even know this. Think about this. Grots are an integral part of the orc army. But grots do not get the benefit of orc cultures. They don't get that benefit. They just don't. They're like, we're too little. We don't get the benefits of being I don't get the benefit. I don't get to reroll my lucky because I'm not lucky. I'm a grot. I don't get to reroll my shots because I'm not a bad moon. I'm a grot. You can aim because literally, quick thing, Kaiju. The stratagem is literally use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. So you get to take this dying flyer, put it right where you want it, and then blow it up. So it's a guided missile. It is literally a guided missile. You get to drop it right where you want it and blow it the hell up. It's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, grots are basically meat shields. Well, apparently, and they haven't released the rules really on it. They've talked about it, but they haven't really released the rules. Apparently, there is a culture that is specifically grot based that makes all the grots like really cool. And so you could drop a viable all grot army. Now keep in mind, grots aren't just grots on the ground. We're talking about grots. We're talking about grot tanks. We're talking about killicans. There's one that lets killicans pass off wounds or allows them to bodyguard wounds now. And then they were talking about this. There's something you can do where you can take a group of grots in Chapter Master Valorek was talking about it, and he only went into the details a little bit, but you could literally have a group of grots moving forward and have 3 killicans walking up with like a named figure, like a an HQ, like a really dangerous HQ, like Thraka, walk up with this army, and they're able to tank off all his wounds, and then use Makari to feel no pain. And there's this whole combination where, because Makari apparently gives feel no pain, but only for Thraka. And there, like I said, there's going to be some crazy changes to the orcs. They're going to be crazy good. The orcs needed the boost. I mean, they are a mid-tier army. This could very possibly see them get back into upper tier because they're a great army. They're a lot of fun. They're one of the most popular. After Marines, they're one of the most popular armies. It's a good thing. But again, I think the box would have been better served putting something else in the box. The problem is the orcs had the same problem, and again, we're gonna go back on this one because this is aggravating. Gonna have to go back a second. I personally like, even though I haven't had a chance to get one. I liked what they were releasing for the Christmas Battle Force box for the Wolves. But a lot of Wolf players were very underwhelmed by that box. That's fair. Seeing what their original box was and seeing the difference, that's fair. The Orcs didn't get a Battle Force box for Christmas. But you go back to last summer, a year ago, when Apocalypse came out, the Orcs got an Apocalypse box. And from all accounts, it's pretty terrible. There's Killicans. I mean, I want Killicans because I love the figures, but really not that good a figure. So there was 6 Killicans in there, so 2 units of Killicans. I think there were 2 Death Dreads in there, which again aren't used in the meta. I like them, but they're not used in the meta. And then there was another figure, which I don't know what it was, and a mech boy with a super shooter lightning bolt gun, which that's a good figure. That's a really good figure. That's one of the figures I need for my army. But there's literally was a bunch of figures that nobody wanted, and they put them in the Apocalypse box. So the last Wolves box was really tone deaf. The Apocalypse Orcs box was really tone deaf. The Space Wolves Primaris box is basically Haldor Ice Pelt and a bunch of regular Primaris Marines with a single set of the specialty sprue in there, a single specialty sprue upgrade kit. Really underwhelming. I want a Haldor Ice Pelt, but that's the only figure in that box I wanted. The Orc Start Collecting box, not a bad box. Not a bad box. It's okay. You need boys. One group of boys, one group of knobs, a Death Dread, and a Pain Boy. It's not a bad box. But again, it's got knobs in it. And now they're doing another box, and they're putting another set of knobs in there. You're seeing a repeat of figures in there. The Primaris Space Wolf box had intercessors in it. The Space Wolf Christmas box had intercessors in it. The thing is, the Haldor's box, there's not a dread in the Primaris box. There's a dread in, I believe there's a dread in the Tooth and Claw box. The Tooth and Claw box was better than the Primaris, the Wolf Start Collecting box. Now, flip side, the Wolf, the original Wolf Start Collecting box, fabulous box. I love that box. It's the cheapest of all the Start Collecting boxes. It's got, the cavalry, which we needed. It's got a full set of the pack, which is great. It's got an unnamed character in there that you can turn into a captain, or in my case, I turned him into a rune priest. Turned out a really great rune priest. It's a good box. One of the problems I'm seeing with some of these boxes, and the thing is now I've been in the hobby back for a little over a year now. And I'm noticing when I look at these boxes, and again, this is coming from me being in the gaming industry for 20 some odd years. You're going to see a starter box. It's always going to have one meh unit in it, or they're going to have a specific theme around what they're giving you. And that's typical with any company. But they break their own rules with what their themes are. And now, admittedly, some of the start collecting boxes are really bad, and some are pretty good. Like I will tell you right now, the Drukhari start collecting box. The Drukhari starting box is, hey, Austin, yeah, I did, buddy, I did. Everybody say hi to Austin. He is a new and starting player in Warhammer. We've got him interested. He's going to be playing Necrons. Here's the thing. There's another perfect example. The Necron start collecting box is actually a pretty good box. But the Drukhari starter box, terrific box. The Eldar starting box has no troops in it. It has no troops. And it has a figure that nobody plays or very rarely plays. So they put that in there to try and boost the sales on that figure, I think. The Vanguard Space Marine box is a great box, but it's basically one half of the Shadow Spear box. The Thousand Sun starter box, a good starter box, but you're only ever buying one. You're never buying a second one because what the heck are you going to do with a second armament? I don't think they like selling starter boxes more than, because I could buy like 2 or 3 of a starter box of some armies and I'd be good with it. Lady Dragon has bought 2 of the Drukhari starter box. I definitely want to get a second Space Wolf starter box. I think between myself and Ray, we've got 2 or 3 of the Imperial Guard starter box. I could totally see doing that for the Tempesta Scions. That's a great starter box too. I don't know that you'd buy more than one Orc starter box. I don't know that you'd buy. Well, you might. The Mechanicum. That's the starter box you could buy 2 of, and that would be a good buy. But there's a lot of them out there that you just you buy one and that's it. And again, I'm kind of so on that. You put a unit in there that you don't want more than one of, or you definitely don't. You don't want to put. Some have HQs. Like the biggest problem with the Thousand Suns, they've got a named HQ in the figure. You're not going to use a second one. So, the Tau, yeah, that's Tau's a good box. So I think they're running about 50-50. But some of these big collection boxes lately have been really hit or miss. I don't play Blood Angels, but I heard a couple of Blood Angels player really grousing about how the Christmas Battleforge box for them was terrible. And a lot of the Space Wolves player, if you're a starting Space Wolves player or just getting back into it like me, it's a great box, but it didn't hold anything for you if you've been playing for any length of time. So, and that's unfortunately, I'm now starting to understand where some of the long-term Drukhari and Elf players were about the Blood of the Phoenix box. It had a bunch of units they didn't want, and it was super expensive. This isn't as bad, but it's pretty close. It's not as expensive as those boxes, but it's really doesn't got a lot in it. So I'll be honest, I'm still on the fence about buying that box. I'm still kind of wavering. I might wait until they release Ragnar and Gazkul as separate figures in 6 months and just get them then. And that's sad to say. With as big a fan as I am of both the Orcs and the Wolves, to see the contents of that box and be kind of like, it's okay. That's kind of a shame. Especially with all the extra hobby time we're now going to have, because we're not going to be able to go anywhere because we're going to stay in our houses and hide away from the world. I'm going to have 3 months, basically, of being in my house and building figures. This is a time for me to stockpile figures to build and paint. I have the time, and I have a little bit of income to buy a bunch of extra boxes. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Yeah, I mean, again, and that's the thing. I don't want to talk bad about the infiltrators because they're a great unit. They're a great unit, but they're not very wolf-like. There's 10 million other figures they could have put in there. No, actually, Ben, I'm going to get built and primed and painted. That's a lot of Cadians. But I could very well see the money that I'm putting aside, that I've been setting aside and putting and waiting and saving for this box set. I could see it being spent on something else at this point. Something that I'd be happier about getting. So that says something. It definitely has less from the Marine side. It definitely has less from the Marine side. There's at MSRP for the individual units. Infiltrators are 60 and Ragnar is going to be 40. So that's $100 MSRP. I'm not messing with the elves. Not messing with the elves. That's you. So Ragnar and the Incursors and the Infiltrators is $100 MSRP. Gazkul is going to be $65 to $75. The knobs were 45, and the mega knobs are 55, 65, something like that. So yeah, the Wolves really did get the short end of that box. Oh, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, I'm having Bailey's, my favorite. I'm a fan of Bailey's. Irish milk. There's my rant. So we've talked about the negative stuff. We got 20 minutes left. Let's talk about some fun stuff. I learned of a new company. Well, they're not a new company, but I learned of them, so they're new to me. They're a Russian miniature company that produces their own line of figures. And they are called Teshnio. I have to look up the name again. I've got them saved here because they produce terrain and figures. The figures are kind of meh, but the terrain is, and the walkers and the aircraft. Tehnolog or Tehnolog, TEHN. They produce a line of tanks that I want to get, and they're super, super cheap. I mean, they are dirt cheap. I got a source for them. You can get them on Amazon. You can also get them on eBay. They are perfect for orking up. If you want to orc up some vehicles, they've got big rubbery tire bristling with gun vehicles. They've got these crazy looking tanks, anti-aircraft guns. You could use them for Imperial Guard stand as and play as. You could orc them the heck up and they would be gorgeous. And they're dirt cheap. I mean, to put it simply, think of something the equivalent of a Lehman Russ in size with guns, like 5 times the guns. And you can get 11 of them for about $60. And they're not that they're made of like the hollow cheap plastic like you would see like toy soldier type plastic. They're made of the same stuff our models are. They're just super mass produced in Russia, so they're dirt cheap. I'm looking at getting a bunch of them. They've got some really crazy looking crab walker things. They've got some very cool looking Imperial Guard, or I should say Mechanicum looking vehicles. They're pretty crazy. They're pretty crazy looking. So I'm going to be getting a bunch of those, and when I get them in, I'm going to do an unboxing with them, because I found a source where I can get, like, if I buy like multiple things from this guy, he'll put them all in one box and send them to me cheap. It's let me look at them again. It's because I found them on Amazon. I found them because one of the miniatures channels I follow did a unboxing of them, and I'll found them. But it's TEHNO. It's again. I speak a little bit of Russian. LOG. That's the name of the company, and they've got orc figures, but they do a lot of their figures in 54 millimeters, so they're 1/32 inches. And they also do box sets of terrain that is just absolutely fabulous. They have a castle set. Castlecraft is the name of their castle set. It is absolutely gorgeous. And they have a technological set that looks a lot like Mechanicum crap. It's got pipes and hoses and dials and stuff all over it. That's the same bigger scale. And it's perfect. I mean, it's like they've got entire terrain kits. So when I get a couple of these, because I'm going to order some of this stuff, like I said, an eBay source for it that I can drop like $40 on them, and I'll get like a crate of stuff. As soon as I get that, I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to unbox it because it's just fabulous stuff. And again, I'm starting to get more into the vein of alternate figures for cool stuff, especially stuff I can orc creating crazy looking crap for the orcs. So the kit bashing got in my blood, and I really, really like the idea. Here's the other line of stuff they do. It's called Robogear. So Castlecraft, Tehnolog, Castlecraft, and Robogear. It's all the same company. Look up the Robogear Locust. You will look at this thing. It looks like a melee version of a Imperial Walker, the Scout Walker. It looks like a melee version because it's got big chopping claws and buzz saws. I mean, you could probably use it as a stand-in for, say, a Helverin, because it's about that size. So, a lot of cool options there. So, I'm saying go ahead and go for it. Like I said, I'm going to be getting some of these. Again, because I'm not really happy with the Prophecy of the Wolf box, I'm probably going to use a little bit of that money and buy some of this Russian stuff, so I have stuff to play with, some fun stuff to work with while I'm sitting out this COVID-19. I'm not going to be able to go out to the store and play, so I might as well build and paint so the next time I do show up, I show up with a bra of new figures. That's got to be fun. So that being said, since that's been on my mind, because of the disappointment in these miniatures, are there any I mean, let's look aside from say Cromlech or Spellcrow, because they're both great. Anybody who knows them, is great. Yes, Commodore, we definitely need to talk about that. Maybe you give me a call tomorrow, or we'll talk about that at length. But Cromlech makes great stuff. Spellcrow great stuff. What other companies out there do you guys know that do really great figures that aren't specifically Warhammer, but you could use in Warhammer? Give me a couple of names. If I can, I'll get them in here and we'll do reviews of them. Or if you know the company, I want to go crazy. So I want to do some cool stuff. So is there anybody out there you guys can think of? I mean, because I still kind of want to do Tau too. So I'm thinking about doing a Gundam-inspired Tau army. Raging Heroes, Brother Vinny. I mean, that's it. All right, I have to look up Brother name. Raging Heroes. Oh yeah, Artel W. Yeah, Artel W is gorgeous. Raging Heroes are. I like Raging Heroes. War Game Exclusive is another one. They're a little pricey, but I like their stuff. They're a little risque as well, which I kind of dig. But I like these these small name ones. Hassle Free. Now I haven't heard of Hassle Free. I don't think, or no, I've heard of them. I haven't seen any of their stuff. What kind of stuff does Hassle Free do? I'll be honest. There was another company out there that I really regret I didn't have the money to get. They were doing a knockoff of Knights. They were doing a knockoff Knight figure that was really Hassle Free scale is very variable. Okay. I'll be honest. It's one of the other reasons I've been looking at really deeply. I might even just sit on this money and invest a little bit more into it and get myself a printer, because I've seen some really cool stuff out there in the bits market. Yeah, I'm thinking about. I found a deal on a any cubic photon, and if I could print anything I want, then you get into naughtiness. Yeah, the problem is that some of these figures, they're just not. I mean, I would print up so much terrain. I can honestly say I would print up so much terrain pieces. Yeah. Monster Rich Case stuff too. I'll have to look into Hassle Free. I remember when I was looking for some post-apocalyptic figures. I think I found some of their stuff. Heck, I want to get a 3D printer just so I can print like a head and one arm for like a Warhound Titan and just wreck them on the ground to use them as a piece of terrain. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, if Games Workshop isn't going to produce box sets, that may be true. If GW isn't going to produce box sets that really bring value or desire to the unit, I mean, I don't understand. Honestly, a lot of companies do. I deal with the GW store a lot, and one of the things that aggravates me about GW, and I would say this because I love GW in a lot of ways. But one of the things that really aggravates me about GW is they literally never have anything on sale. Yes, the dogs are barking because the dogs next door are out. They never put anything on sale. They're the only store I have ever seen, ever, that doesn't ever have any sort of sale. Any sort of, they just, okay, we're going to put these figures back out of the market for a limited time. You're still going to pay full price for them, but we're going to put them on the market again. That's their idea of a sale. They take figures that are out of print and put them back in the market for a week or two. That's their idea of a sale. That's super disappointing. When I can buy a box of figures from Amazon for cheaper than I can buy it from the manufacturer, that's a problem. I'm all about supporting my local hobby store, and I want to be clear. I remember when there was a period of time when I had a subscription to White Dwarf, and you literally got a figure every month. And speaking of which, why can't we get Conquest? Why can we not get Conquest here in the States? They just released the final issue of Conquest in England. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to get Conquest here in the States. I'd buy it. I know it. I'd buy it. And I think if they did Conquest in any form, I mean, I'm jealous of Conquest. There's a whole bunch of terrain that came in Conquest that I really want, and I'd pay the Conquest price to get it the way they get it, because it spreads the money out. It spreads the cost out. It's a lovely idea. You get what you want. It just spreads the cost out in an even manner. If they produced it in the States, it would sell like hotcakes. I've yet to meet a gamer that wouldn't go, yeah, I'd probably get it. Literally. I've been at the hobby store and I've talked to the guys there. Ben might be the only person I know that wouldn't get it, because Ben would say, I'm not going to get it just because he's a contrarian. And his wife would be like, but I'd want it. So there's that. GW understands what the narrative is. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to figure out a way to get around that for a while. And I mean, there's just, it's aggravating. It's damn aggravating. I can't even get the damn things on eBay. They don't. It's aggravating. I guess that's why we love this hobby so much, because there's so much to talk about and still not do a damn thing. You want the figures, but the figures are overpriced. But I love the figures, but I can't get the ones I want. I want to get the box set where I get a deal on the price, but I'm going to have to get 3 figures I want and 1 figure I don't want. And because they're controlling the narrative, they're controlling the market. But I think at the same time, I'm hoping they're seeing the writing on the wall. 3D printing is becoming much more available. People are not buying the terrain kits because it's easier to produce your own. It's easier to buy second party. It's cheaper to buy second party and third party ones that are just as good. For a perfect example, we showed the first pictures of the new Sororitas terrain piece. I saw that piece. I'm like, I gotta get that. That goes with my army. That goes with my terrain board. I'm building a ruined city terrain board, a full 4x6, board full of the Imperial Ruins pieces. It's going to be, when it's done, it's going to be gorgeous. You guys saw on my Instagram, I just finished 2 of the bigger pieces. I still want to get a couple more pieces. And I'm like, I'll get this. This is going to be what, another $60 kit, $70, $110 USD for that kit. $110. I can't justify that. I can't justify that. Not being a guy that builds terrain. And that's where the problem comes in, because I build my own terrain. I build good terrain. I mean, the stuff I build, people like. I've sold pieces. I've done commission work for terrain. I like the GW terrain, but I don't like it so much that I'm willing to pay for a single piece of terrain as much as I could buy a box of terrain. Battle Tank was 50 points, but guess what? It's still not worth $110. It's a piece of terrain. I had a hard time justifying the Sanctum at what I think was a $55 kit. I want to get the Administratum, but that's a $75 or $80 kit. And then there's the big one. I forget what that one's listing. And it's $110. This is what drives people to 3D printing. This is what drives thinking, and the way their prices keep going up, $10, $5, $10 here and there. It's going to make me focus more on doing more terrain on this channel and teaching people how to not spend that GW dollar. And that's a shame, because I think GW is a good company, but I think what they're doing is they're alienating some of their players. They're putting a gatekeep in for players. A new player, Kaiju, thanks for being here. We're going to be done in just a moment, so I just kind of want to finish this thought. I've been noticing the prices go up. I've been back in the game since February of last year, and I've watched the prices go up. That's what they're doing. They're basically cutting out people, the people on the edge of being able to afford a box every other paycheck, or a box a paycheck, or a couple boxes a month. They're edging those people out with disposable income. If you don't have enough disposable income to give them a couple $100 a month, you're not keeping up with what they want, and they're going to start pricing things out of their way. I remember when rhinos. I remember buying my first rhino, and I want to say, now admittedly that was 30 years ago, but it was 25 years ago. But that rhino was $20, 22. I think it was $22.50. Nowadays, a rhino is $45, double the price. A box of Marines are now, even for tactical Marines, are $45, and intercessors are $60. They keep increasing the price and increasing the price and increasing the price and increasing the price. I had a very good painter friend of mine say, use P3 paints. They're a higher quality paint, and they're almost half the price of a Citadel pot that has half as much paint in it. and they have a wider color range. I knew getting back in this hobby, this was not a hobby for the dirt poor. I know that there is a price mark coming into this hobby, but they keep making the price mark bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I understand prices go up, but I have never seen prices go up 3 times in a year, and they have. So, just my 2 cents. My dogs are losing their mind. We're after 9 o'clock, so I think we're going to call it here, folks. Everybody be safe. Everybody be sane and be calm about this virus. Be smart. Wash your damn hands. As much as we love the game and be around other people, limit your space, limit your time around people. Use this time to build up your army. That being said, guys, I love you all. You're so great. Hit that like button. Throw your comments below. I'll put some stuff about the companies and stuff I've talked about in the comments below after the thing. If you're watching the stream after it's been in my archive, just know this is St. Patrick's Day 2020, and there are no parades, and there are no parties going on tonight because Nurgle has won. That being said, I love you all, and be well. Game on, my friends.